Hello everyone, welcome back to my review channel. Today I'm going to be going on with the classic horror films. This week I got this movie, 1977, that's when it came out. It's called End of the World, 1977. Very appropriate, I thought. I just thought of this when I was watching it, I was like, very appropriate since, it's gonna be the end of the world, like the end of this year, it's like no more. There we go. So, End of the World, 1977. I could go on with spiel, I probably will, about how bad this movie was. Let's just start. So many things to say about it. First, I'll just mention a couple things. International Movie Database gave this a 2.7. Rotten Tomatoes, not rated. With only 11% of the audience liking it. Let me see. This was actually produced by, production by Charles Band. And, Charles Band, Full Moon Features, did all the, Puppet Master, Demonic Toys, yada, yada, yada. So this was, before his, Full Moon franchise. His Full Moon, studio. Which then, not less than 10 years, less than a decade from now, he will have put out, the first Puppet Master movies. And it goes on from there. But yeah, I was kind of cool to actually see that. I was like, whoa, I popped for that. Charles Band? That's awesome. This movie was not awesome. One thing that had, props for was one actor called, Christopher Lee. Him being in it was, the only good thing about this movie. And, if you don't know Christopher Lee, he's been in so many other film features and everything, but you probably know him best for maybe Lord of the Rings movie. But here you go. Okay. Just start this stuff off. The director of this film was, John Hayes. Now, the director of this film, John Hayes. I was looking this guy up, and just to see what else he was doing, what else he's done, yada, yada, yada. This guy, only thing he does, okay. The majority of his film work has been porn. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I just don't know, man. Try to, lay it down softly, but the majority of this guy's, what he's done has been porn. From the 70s to the 80s has been porn. Not softcore. Probably, I don't think there was much softcore in the 70s or 80s. Maybe there was, but, that wasn't the stuff he was doing. I looked up, he only did, a couple of, movie, TV show kind of things. One was Tales from the Dark Side TV series, and, Grave of the Vampire movie was, 1972, but everything else, except for maybe one or two other features, was been porn. Porn, from, the 70s to the 80s. Porn. This guy. I'll just name you a few titles this guy's done for his porn movies. Working Girls. Pleasure Zone. This is one of my favorites. Jailbait Babysitter. This one's funny. Mama's Dirty Girls. And these are all from, late 70s, early 80s. And I think there was probably the one or two of these probably just, late 80s. Or, 80s. Whatever. It was just... I don't think much of, porn directors who think too much of themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's just yes, the only reason he does stuff like this porn directors, in my opinion, is because they want people to believe that they are legitimate directors, and that's just not true. Let's just call a spade a spade. Porn directors is the easiest you need no thought for porn. And there's these directors, that think they're better than what they do. If they were better than what they do, they wouldn't be doing porn. That's just, okay, it's just and I think this movie proved it. This is one of the movies. I'm sure there's a lot more out there. But this is a movie that kind of proves my theory that, just because you direct porn doesn't mean you can direct a legit film movie. And this is supposed to be a horror. You know, and this is my second beef, and this is another beef I have with this film. This is supposed to be a horror film, and it's PG. This is a PG movie. No. No, no, no. Shame. For shame. I just couldn't believe that especially after seeing Charles Band production. I was like, I didn't think he did anything that was not like R or bloody or gory. But you know, I guess this was again pre-full moon features. There's just so much. There was like little to no actual horror. It was more of a sci-fi thriller. Aliens are going to destroy the world type of movie. This movie was, for the 70s, it was still kind of like low budget, where the lighting was so bad, you couldn't even see some things, what was going on. This was in color. It's just like, everything's dark, and they don't have enough lighting on stuff. There's just so much about this film. 88 minutes. I just can't get past the fact that a porn director thinks he could just, you know, I'm better than this. I'm going to prove it to everybody. You proved nothing. You proved he could make a shitty film. And I cannot stand how many shitty films are made. And they give fucking, excuse my French, but it just pisses me off. It gives useless, I'm just going to say it, dude, stupid, useless directors. I'm sorry, John Hayes, but I look through your films, and if all you do is porn with, like, one TV show and a couple movies, and then, like, there was a couple of, like, horror porn. I've already watched one of those, man. Make up your damn mind. I hate directors that can't make up their mind. And this one, he legitimately made up his mind. He did not want to put any porn in his movies, which, okay, that's cool. But making a PG horror, no buys. What are you really trying to sell here? You're trying to say you can be a legit director, but then you put out a crappy film, and you should have known what you were doing. With this writer, with whoever wrote this, I didn't write it down. Oh my god. Bad script work, bad direction. I mean, you need no thought as a porn director. I just keep going back to that. I watched that Flesh for the Beast movie, that really made me mad. It's either make a porn or make a horror film. Because you can't watch a gore porn. That's a snuff film. Okay? It's confusing your libido with your brain. Okay? And it's just stupid crap like that. It just doesn't need to make the market. But it does! And it just makes me mad that we give money to anybody and everybody has a stupid idea that thinks they can be somebody. Think they can direct a good movie. You think you can direct a good movie? You can't. Go back to porn. And he did. Anyways, okay, let's just start this movie. This is going to be too long. Starts off. Catholic priest, Father Brigado, played by Christopher Lee. He's in a rush, walks into a restaurant early in the morning, asks to use the phone to call police. He walks over the phone blows up, explodes. All of a sudden, like, the hot coffee maker explodes, splashing, like, hot coffee or hot water on the one worker, owner, guy, whoever's that one dude there, early in the morning. This blinds the worker. He, like, runs straight forward and just, like, smashes through a window, like, head first. Apparently that just kills him because he just lays dead, like, out the window now. I probably just knocked him out, but he's dead now if he's going to just lay on glass. Priest gives man, or Father Brigado gives man sign of the cross, you know, that, he's a dead body. And he walks to the St. Catherine's Church where he's welcomed by another priest. Now, I should say, I mentioned before the bad lighting in this film, where I was confused because of these two priests. Really, it's one priest. It's the same priest. It's Christopher Lee playing both roles. And as the lighting, like, it was so bad, I couldn't tell. I just couldn't tell. I had to watch the whole movie, and I realized, okay, so it is Christopher Lee playing both roles. I just couldn't tell. Again, but if you watch it, it is. So, He goes by and he's welcomed by himself. He welcomes himself back in. He's like, welcome back to St. Catherine's. It's like, you're me, I'm you, you're telling me. It's like, I'm telling myself. And then, okay, now it's like roll credits. Like, here, Charles Brand Productions, directed by this crappy porn director, yada yada yada, starring Christopher Lee and all these other guys. Sue Lyon, John Ben Hess, Kurt Scott. Okay, after that, guy Andrew, he works for NASA communications analyst or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really nail on the head what he does, but Andrew works for NASA, communication analyst, like information to and from space. He's at his desk, finally deciphers a code that has been sent, not from Earth. So he just finds this, and it's been sent here, but it's not from Earth. So obviously it's sent from space. And it says large Earth disruption. Large Earth disruption. I just keep saying that, like large Earth disruption. He gets after this. Employees are talking to him about, you going to the banquet. You going to the banquet. So he gets dragged to this banquet, and he brings his wife Sylvia, who also plays like his assistant in this whole film. So they go to the banquet, and on the car ride back home, so for whatever reason, they feel like mentioning the banquet they go to, that they're going to the banquet, and they're literally there for like 2 minutes. I was like, I thought there'd be a plot line with this banquet. It was just to get them out of the room. It was just to hear the radio. So, and on the car ride back home, they listen to the radio, hear about an earthquake that has hit China, and he thinks they're both connected. What he got caught, or what he heard, the large Earth disruption, and this. So the next day, he's at work. Employer relays to Andrew that Washington personnel has asked him that he wants him up, sets him up for meetings as a lecturer about space communications and whatnot, talk about space and UFOs. So now there's a plot line with him having to leave. He later gets another message on the computer board about a volcano in Africa in 10 minutes. Volcano, Africa, 10 minutes. And that's before he leaves his work. So now he has to go on tour, and, what they call a tour, but his lectures. He has to go on tour for his lectures. So on tour, the next day, he overhears the radio broadcast about a volcano in Africa going off with Sylvia, as his assistant, his wife. They go off to look for a transmitter tower in the area, because they think there could be, this could be where it's transmitting from or something. And look for it in an area at school for nuns. This is St. Catherine's Church, where you saw in the beginning. So he's looked for it in that school for nuns and finds nothing. He uses this very, very straight from, Star Trek, original Star Trek, this little beep, 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 beep. And I was just like, dude, did you just steal this from the Star Trek set? And it's from 10, 15 years ago. And it was just silly stuff like that. Well, you see, when it really gets to the high-tech scenes, the futuristic scenes, it is straight up, they just, take props from, all these crappy horror, older horror films or something, or, the Star Trek set. I swear, it's really, really funny to watch. It was just all I was thinking about how I wanted to watch Star Trek. He leaves, him and his wife, Andrew and his wife Sylvia, they leave the St. Catherine's Church to look for another tower that could be in the area within 40 miles or something. They get there late at night, they walk through an opening in a locked fence. This is dead at night. While snooping around inside the complex, inside the fence, they get caught by armed personnel, armed guards. Man comes out, looks at Andrew's ID, and introduces himself as Commander Joseph Beckerman. Now, he goes on to say that, hey, they know each other, they talk over the phone, they're both like communication analysts. So they know each other only by phone conversations, never met each other. Beckerman brings them inside, downstairs, in like a cellar or whatever, and it shows them what they've been working on, a bunch of computers everywhere. The computers are from the 70s, and they look hilarious to watch how far computers have come. I remember in the 80s, but these are like damn computers in the 70s. Funny stuff. Now, Beckerman is in communications like Andrew, but they listen in on like Russian communications and points of origin about where they're coming and going from. After conversating with Beckerman, Andrew and Sylvia leave, and Andrew wants to check out the convent of nuns again. That place, the St. Catherine's. And they keep calling it a convent, so that's probably what I'll call it. They arrive, and one nun brings them in and introduces them to Father Brigado. This is the man you saw at the very beginning of the film, the one that everything happened to, and he went back to St. Catherine's and got welcomed by himself. Andrew is allowed to walk the premises. The device that looks for transmitting radio waves, but finds nothing. This is the device I'm talking about. It's just like beep 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 beep, and it's just like hold this rod, but it's like hold this little beep beep beep, and I was just like laughing, dude. It's just laughable. I'd be laughing at it if it was 1977. I'd be laughing at it. Back at NASA, Andrew is back on the computer to find a new message. Finds a message describing him and Sylvia sent to space. So it describes him and Sylvia, him and his wife, and it was a message that was sent to space. Before, I want to mention this. Let me hold my spot. I want to mention this. At the beginning of the film, when Andrew was talking to his wife Sylvia about messages from space, they were talking, or she was talking so nonchalant, like either, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like she didn't know that, or she was just too dumb or too a matter of fact. But it was just like she knew that aliens were alive, and like none of this was confusing her, and it was like totally. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about UFOs and aliens. Everybody knows about those. And she was just talking like it was no big deal, and it was just stupid stuff, dialogue like that you just don't understand. Where she has nothing to do with what he works with. So she should have a little more surprise when they're talking about like space travel, because they're like, and she's like, you mean from space? You mean you got a message from space? And she doesn't ask any questions. She's like, okay, that means they must be from aliens. And it's just like, oh, shut the hell up. Okay, now Andrew believes it's so they got so Andrew's at work and he sees the message sent to space of describing him and his wife, and he goes home and tells his wife about the message, and he believes that they're coming from the convent of nuns. So, and they say they have to do this alone. They both have to go alone to do this. So they head back over there, and they check it out, and at night, of course, because when's a better time to do it? And they get there, sneak around, and gets caught by a nun with a creepy hand. This is like the only, the one of two creepy parts in this one movie. I say creepy, I'm using that word loosely, because this movie was not horrific. It was just not good at all in a lot of ways. But anyways, she uses her creepy hand, which is all like melted and like burnt and stuff, and you just see you literally see probably like this much of it. And she just grabs him, because it's a fake hand. It's a fake hand. She tries to grab the throat and just like pull her, but the hand doesn't move, so he just like grabs on. And just like, you just see it like doing like this. It's just funny. Again, you don't know how or why she has her hand like this. It doesn't explain. But the only but you know when you watch later the only reason they did this. But it was just supposed to be a creepy part. Like, oh my god, her hand. So, creepy hand. And so she get caught by the nun with the creepy hand with other nuns. But the nun with the creepy hand is the one out first. The nuns take Andrew and Sylvia down to the basement or the cellar or wherever. where they're showing the crazy future technology room. There's a room full of crazy technology that they've never seen. It's like a big globe of the Earth that it has a big red triangle in it, and it's supposed to mean like something, but the triangle doesn't move because it's a big plastic orb. Again, dude, it's so funny to watch, and all the buttons and the lights and the sounds was straight out of Star Trek. And it's so funny. I was just like, I want to watch a Star Trek episode after this. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. Being the computer with all the computer with all the multi-lights on it. Boop, boop, boop. Oh my god. Now, this is where they witnessed the nun with the creepy hand actually heal her hand in a very futuristic fashion. She puts like a clear cube like over her hand. And, like, it comes back, and she's, like, completely normal again. So, but that was, like, the only reason for that part of the creepy hand, just to show this, I guess, but it doesn't explain how she got the creepy hand. Now, so she heals her hand in front of Andrew and Sylvia. Also, a second priest, Bergardo, tries to, time warp, and gets killed. So this is where you start to realize that there are two of the same priest, but again, I kept questioning it because the lighting was so bad. I just had to keep questioning. Like, are they together? Are they the same person? It doesn't explain until just after this that they're clones. There's a clone of each other. It's this clone of the same person, clone of the original. But the guy that went in to the time warp and got killed is the original. And it doesn't say that, but I had to put that together myself, and it doesn't say that. Honestly, it made me think that they already killed him before, but they just kept making clones of him. That's what it made me think, but I had to, like, really analyze what they were doing, and, like, at the beginning of the movie, that's the original. That's not the clone, that's the original. So at the beginning of the movie, when you see Father Bergardo, that's not a clone, that's him himself. He just got cloned by the aliens. Now, the other Father Bergardo, so now the original tried to time warp and got killed. Then the other Father Bergardo, the clone, goes over to somewhat explain to Andrew and Sylvia what they just saw, everything. You see, I'm trying to put this as best I can. The aliens had to put their consciences in the bodies of the priests and the nuns because they landed here. They had to clone, so they cloned the priests and the nuns to put them through time warp to make sure that they could do it themselves, so they could go home. But they didn't know if their bodies could take it, so they had to make clones and let's send the originals first. Which obviously kills all the nuns and Father Bergardo, who was the last to go. Once this is explained to him, once it's explained to Andrew, Father Bergardo tells him to get something where he works at, special crystals. Gotta get those special crystals, or it won't work. And he has to get that from NASA, where he works, because, oh dear God, NASA has crystals that, like, powers rocket ships. OMG, that's funny as hell. The only way we got Armstrong into space is through magic crystals. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm laughing at that. Now, he goes off to someone explain about how fast we could travel. We could travel like 800 times, I don't know, some BS. It was just make-up stuff for crystals. So he has to go get the crystals, which is what the aliens need to get home, to officially power this time warp machine. Which is, they call it time warp, but it's really like a fast travel. Again, the script doesn't truly explain this, but you have to take it for face value. So the priest tells him he has to go get this, and if he doesn't, he threatens his wife that basically you got to do it or else. If he doesn't help, something could happen to his wife. So that night, they go up to the room, and that night Andrew and Sylvia try to escape, but they are seen by the priest. The couple run down the road. A car stops, or they like run in front of a car. The car like stops in front of them, and he asks for a ride to the police station. And the priest uses his powers to blow up the car with the man inside that was going to give them a ride. Afterwards, Andrew and Sylvia walk in defeat back to Catherine's church. This was another dumbass part. So they try once to get away, and then they walk back in defeat. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to call you a bunch of pussies. You telling me that a whole bunch of lives are on the line, if not like the whole world, but they don't know this yet. But I would think, if I was like introduced to all this crazy shit that's happening, and I just got found out they killed a bunch of people and they don't really care, and they want me to do something I don't want to do, and then they kill somebody in front of me, they walk back in defeat. I just don't get that. You just threw in the towel way too quick. You were like, whoa, that's too much. I'm done. I'll do whatever you want. You know, just go ahead and rate me however you want to. I'll take it. That's just what I got from it. Is like, you guys are lame. The walk of shame back to the church, and he welcomes them back to the church. God, yes. And like, they deserve to die. I mean, come on. They're just being selfish, thinking their lives are more important than the rest of the world. Again, just bad script work. You could just blame it on bad script work. Andrew, the next day, he has to go to work. Andrew does. He must steal the crystals from the lab, and he does so. I was afraid to see some lame-ass Mission Impossible stuff right here, but thank God I didn't. He does it almost too easily, though. Almost gets caught by a friend's security guard, but the guard doesn't shoot him because he's his friend. And so Andrew runs off, and two other security guards run after him, followed by the other security guard that didn't shoot him. And then all of a sudden they get stopped next to tanks, and the tanks blow up. And this is blown up by the priest using his powers again. Andrew, and he sees this. Andrew sees the thing pipe, like the big explosion, kills his friend, two of the cops. He just sits there. Again, he just sits there. He's like, he just looks down like defeat. And it was a man. Act a little bit. Like, oh my God. So he goes back to the priest and gives the priest the crystals, and then he asks for his wife. Priest says this. He says that their agreement has expired. I thought that was the biggest heel move I've ever heard. I'm going to do that to somebody. Make an agreement with them, and they'll be like, yes, but our agreement has expired. Oh, that was good. The priest knocks him out with his powers, and then he wakes up with his wife in a room. This is to the point with the conclusion. I want to say this. I'm really, really getting high on time here. If this alien had these mind powers, why didn't he do anything himself? He blows things up with his mind. He'll make people pass out with his mind, but he can't make someone go get crystals for him with his mind. He can't just this is the dumbest thing. This is the big, big question I have for this. It's like, your powers are lame. You can make things blow up. And it's just complicated. They don't even explain how he could do any of this. Because if he could do this, I believe he should have a sort of telekinesis and telepathy. I don't know. Because it doesn't show him picking something up with his mind and throwing it. But it just shows him it shows his eyes. It's shows his eyes, and then something blows up. Like a car, or pipe or something. Or a phone in the beginning of the movie. I'm just like, dude, you're as a powerful alien, you're not using your powers to get what you want. You're just, a matter of fact, I thought I could probably kill this dude by just shooting him in the face. He's not going to stop me. What's he doing? Blew me up? Now he's screwed. Either way, he's screwed. But again, bad script work. Okay, conclusion. Let's do this. In the convent, priest tells the couple that Earth is a disease that needs to be destroyed, wiped out, that could affect planets from far away. Now, while the nuns join one by one, jump into the teleporter. There's a TV monitors that Sylvia and Andrew are watching on in the room, and it shows from around the world. Chaos is ensuing, volcanoes are erupting, tsunamis are happening, earthquakes. Everything's ravaging Earth right now while they are time traveling. So this shows the devastation from around the world. The priest invites them to come along right before he shows them their true face. This was only a second or two tops. And if you look at the cover of the film, you basically saw what he looked like. It was just a dumb mask. And this was the second creepy part. This was supposed to be the second creepy part, and no buys. No buys. Now, they wait a moment, Andrew and Sylvia wait a moment, and then decide to do it and teleport. What choice do they freaking have? They are the only ones that are asked this. It's like, you two could come along. Earth is freaking screwed. What choice did they have? Bad script. And again, he kind of says that himself. He's like, sit here and die with the rest of the planet and officially kill off humans, or go with him on this distant planet and look like a freak. So they go. They time travel, and that's all you see of them. The very last thing you see is Earth exploding. Blam! Earth blows up. Roll credits, black screen. Actors in alphabetical order or whatever. Dumb movie. Dumb movie. I am not pleased with this. I am never pleased with when I look up a director's attributes. I don't know, his portfolio, and I see a bunch of porn. That's just no buys for me, man. No buys. It's a PG. It's a PG. No. That's all I can say about this. Don't even waste your time unless you want to have a good laugh at a bad movie. This was a bad movie. Maybe not Killer Clowns bad, but that's in a different way. Killer Clowns was a bad movie that was actually fun to watch. This was not. Sorry. And I was kind of excited for a Charles Band production. Anyways, that's what it is. I like Christopher Lee in it. It was fun. It's okay to watch. I wouldn't suggest anybody to watch this. There you go. There's the film. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry it took so long. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. Bye.